Hey guys, look at what I'm working with here in St. Louis. It's straight cold, y'all. We got so much snow and it's straight up cold. And this just ain't it for me. Lord have mercy, child. Please. My baby, look at him. He's trying his best. Doing what he can after my husband did what he did. But it is cold and this ain't it for me. It is too cold for me. We got too many inches of snow. So I decided today is the day to drop this video. It is just cold and I've been in the house for 3 whole days with a lot of snow for us. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katina, the creator of Live, Life, Learn. And of course, I created this channel because I am documenting my debt-free journey. And I wanted to show you guys what my experience is like, what it's like to start a debt-free journey, what it's like to acknowledge that you just in some debt and you need to get out of it. So if you're interested in joining a debt-free journey, getting on board, don't know how to do it, what it feels like, where to start, well, this is the place to be. And thank you so much for joining me. So I want to say first and foremost, thank all of you guys. And I keep forgetting to do this, so I am so very sorry. I just want to thank all of you guys who have subscribed to my channel. I am super grateful. And I'm so thankful that you guys watch my little videos. I'm such an amateur. However, I love to talk and I've gotten so good at public speaking thanks to my job. That kind of threw me in the belly of public speaking years and years ago when I had no idea how to do it. But I am so grateful that I have this opportunity to share my experience with y'all. And I am so grateful, of course, something popping up on my phone. I am so grateful that you guys are watching and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I now have over 100 subscribers, but you know what? If I had 1 subscriber, I'll be happy. Because I just honestly, y'all, I just want to share my experience with people, and I really want to inspire somebody to do the same thing. It's not easy starting any kind of journey. I don't care what kind it is. It's not easy to start, and it really isn't easy when you don't have someone that's like holding you accountable. So I feel like this is a great place to be, to share, to be honest and transparent, to joke and things like that, and just to talk about my experience. So thank y'all so much. So again, before I forget, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. My son and my husband are the only 2 thus far. Well, I had a few people to leave comments for me, and I appreciate it. I will read every single one of them because they mean so much to me. But if you have any questions or suggestions for me, you want me to address a topic or clarify something, please leave a comment below. If you feel like you want to share this video with somebody that might be thinking about debt-free journeys or whatever, share this video. But again, I can't thank you guys enough for listening to me, for even tuning into this channel. I just did not know what to expect. I just know I needed to start something. And this was good for me because, y'all, I needed support. And I figured I could get that support right here from somebody. Even if it was just one person, I was grateful for that one person. But I have over 100 now. And so, again, thank you, and God bless y'all. Okay? So I want to go ahead and get into my subject matter today. And y'all already know I have my notes. So I don't have a notebook. I really like my computer for my notes and stuff. So I created this really neat PowerPoint. Let me see if I can show y'all. Hold on. I don't want to mess nothing up. Anyway, I created this PowerPoint, and I know my ring light's in the way, but that's all right. I created this PowerPoint last night, y'all, and I'm so proud of myself. It's so pretty. It's beautiful. It's so professional, okay? But I created this PowerPoint, and I'm probably going to try to do that for all my videos so I can stay on track, okay? So today's topic is going to be living paycheck to paycheck. how to stop living paycheck to paycheck in 2022. All right. So we want to talk about living paycheck to paycheck. So I'm over here, you know what I'm saying, flipping the screen, going to the next slide over here on my PowerPoint, right? So I want to talk about the whole process of living or concept or experience of living paycheck to paycheck. And you know what, when I was looking at this topic and thinking about it, I was like, I have so much to say about that because I've been living from paycheck to paycheck for a long time. But I not only wanted to share my personal experience with you guys about that process or whatever you want to call it, or that part of my life, I should say, because it had been a part of my life for a long time. The paycheck to paycheck living, y'all, it's been present. Okay. But I also wanted to give y'all some facts as well, too, right? So what I did, as I always do, I took myself to Google Community College, right? I went straight to Google Community College because it is free. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit right here and do my research and see what is the tea with living paycheck to paycheck, because I not only want to say, hey, this is what I have been dealing with this project, with this process, but I want to get some factual information. So class is in session, honey, from Google Community College. So let me tell y'all what I found out in my research when I was on Google, okay? My good friend Google. So living paycheck to paycheck does have an actual definition, you know what I'm saying? I used to think that really what I would call it and what so many other people would call it was robbing Peter to pay Paul. So not only was I robbing Peter to pay Paul, honey, I was robbing the whole block to pay somebody, okay? And those bills that I neglected and did not pay, it was just not a good outcome for me, okay? I had so many late fees to pay. I had so much to deal with because I was robbing the whole block instead of just Peter and Paul to pay these bills. But let me give you an actual definition, all right, of what paycheck to paycheck living means. So it's a person's inability to pay for living expenses, right, due to their lack of income and or budgeting and or wage gap issues. So we have a person's inability because they don't have enough money, they don't make enough money, they don't have a budget, or simply because there's, you know what, y'all already know there is some wage gap issues, and that is a big, big problem, right? That's a huge problem. So, but that's another topic. But those are some of the reasons why people live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm trying to figure out which one of those that I fall into. Probably all of them, okay? And so here's the deal. From what I've learned with my research, 63% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And that number is increasing, y'all. And that was actually, I want to say, was it pre-pandemic? It was either or actually at the start of the pandemic, right? So that's a lot of people who are living paycheck to paycheck. And I got a feeling that it's now more than that. That is because of the cost of everything going up or whatever. But I think that number has increased. So a lot of people, including myself, has experienced paycheck to paycheck survival currently or just kind of in the middle of it right now. So let me just give y'all a little story time. Y'all know I got a story to tell, okay? I always like to tell my little story because I really believe in personal stories. I believe that personal stories are very effective when you're trying to convey something to someone, right? So that is me. I'm a personal story type of chick, right? So since I moved into my first apartment when I was 21, okay, that was a while ago, all right? I had no furniture, y'all, zero furniture whatsoever, right? But I've always lived paycheck to paycheck, and I simply had no idea that's what that was. I really didn't. I was working 2 jobs at the time. I just moved into this 1-bedroom apartment. I want to say my rent was like $400, maybe $375 or something like that. And I had no sort of furniture whatsoever. I had no savings. Saving was not even on my mind. Honestly, y'all, I just wanted to get out of my mama's house. That was all that was to that. So I went ahead and did what I had to do and did what needed to be done. I got this apartment, had no furniture, struggling, honey. Struggling. The only thing that I had together was my bathroom because I had the bathroom decor on layaway at Kmart at the time when Kmart was around. I don't even know if Kmart is still around. But Kmart, here in St. Louis was a big deal. So what I did was I put all of my accessories for my bathroom in the layaway at Kmart. So if nothing else, okay, my bathroom was together thanks to the layaway at Kmart. Okay. And so I was just simply just going along thinking that it was a normal thing to just live like that, right? And as now that I'm more aware, I realize that that type of living should not be normalized whatsoever. I know it's a lot of people's reality and it should not be, including mine, for the longest of times, up until I got on this debt free journey. But I think the whole concept of living that way should not be that way, right? It should not be. So I stayed frustrated, y'all, because every time I got paid, my money was gone before I got paid. It really was gone before I got my check. Just gone, right? I was already on the next check when I got paid on Friday. So at any rate, had gotten used to the process, accustomed to the process. I had no budget. Y'all, listen, budget was not even a part of my vocabulary at the time. It really wasn't, just like savings wasn't, right? So as my income began to increase over the years, so did my debt. All right. So although I had gotten better jobs over time, my debt was going just as high as my income, and I just simply couldn't keep up. It's like my debt was outpacing my income. And so I stayed on this merry-go-round, paycheck to paycheck living, okay, until I just completely jumped off the damn merry-go-round in June of 2021. It was just simply time for me to just stop living that way. And I wanted to start the process of getting out of that cycle of living. So I know so many people who live paycheck to paycheck, okay? And to be quite honest, y'all, we're not out of that yet, okay? But we are on our way. We are well on our way out of that cycle, but we're almost there. We're almost out. So I am not going to exclude myself yet, but you know what? It's on its way. And I'm just so tired of that cycle of living that I really decided that that was going to have to stop. I got tired of it. I'm through with it. So being on this debt-free journey has caused me to look at things from a different perspective, has caused me to realize what is normal and what is not normal way of living, and in terms of how to manage your money. So let's talk about the step-by-step process to stop living paycheck to paycheck. So I got some tips for y'all that I thought about, that I accumulated last night when I was doing my cute little PowerPoint. So let me go ahead and share that with you guys, because I think it's going to be very helpful to you guys, and also it's quite helpful to myself, and these are some of the things that I did. So first step, all right, is self-reflection, right? That is number one. So you want to self-reflect, and you want to get to know your paycheck. So what you want to do is just simply acknowledge that this is an issue. Sometimes, like for me, you guys, I did not acknowledge that living paycheck to paycheck was a problem. I just went on by my days, okay? I'm like, I guess this is how it's supposed to be. You get paid and you go broke, so you don't have anything to save, or whatever the case may be. So I thought it was a normal course of life, and this is how it was, that you live to pay bills, right? So you want to go ahead and just acknowledge that this is a problem. And once you get that out the way, everything should be smooth sailing. Well, I'm not going to say smooth sailing, but the acknowledgement part of it is extremely important. That's going to get you well on your way to progress, right? And so then you want to find out, you guys, how much you take home per month, right? So whether you get paid weekly, bi-weekly, the 15th and the 30th of the month, or monthly, I don't know who get paid monthly these days, maybe somebody still, but you want to make sure you are well aware at how much you're bringing home. You'll be amazed at how much you really don't know how much you make, because you're not paying attention to your check. You're not looking at it. You know what the dollar amount is, but you're not really doing any sort of deep diving into what that check is and what it consists of and what's taken out of it. So the other thing that you want to do under this category of reflection and knowing your paycheck is you want to review your tax deductions, you guys. This is super important. I didn't think that it was important to look at, but you know what? You get your gross pay and you get your net pay, right? Yes. So you want to take a look at what's coming out your check. right? So if you're, for an example, if you are grossing $1,500 and your take home pay is like $1,200, you want to know where in the hell did the other $300 go, right? So that was something that I avoided for a long time. I was just always focused on my net, my take home pay, but never really looking at my overall gross pay. So you want to take a look at all the different line items that are taxable, your federal taxes, state, local, if you dealing with that kind of thing. You want to look at your Social Security. You want to look at all those lovely taxes that come out of your check. And you want to take a peek and see where it's going. You know what I'm saying? You want to see what that dollar amount is. That's very important, okay? So get to know your check. And so now that we did our self-reflection, we know how much we bring home a month, we reviewed our, what's coming out of our check so we can see what the deal is, it's time for the B word. Yep, that's right. I know. It is time for the B word. And you're like, Katina, girl, what is the B word? It's time to budget, okay? It is time for the sexy, honey. It is time to budget. Now, I have talked about budget a lot, and I'm going to continue to talk about budget as a reminder to me to keep up with my budgeting every time I get paid, and as a reminder to y'all to budget. I know it ain't cute. It ain't sexy. It is actually boring to me, but you might find joy in it, so I don't know. But although it's not a cute thing, it's not something that's real pretty, I think it is extremely important to budget. It is so necessary. You want to know where your money's going. You want to stop living paycheck to paycheck. You better make a budget. Or you better make a budget so that they can stop. So go ahead and do your budget, y'all. It can be a basic budget. It don't have to be nothing fancy. You want to do a budget. I like to do budgets that's based on my pay period. I get paid every 2 weeks and on Friday. So from my first job, I have 2.5 jobs. I'll get into that later. So I like to make a budget based upon my pay cycle. Okay, so typically what I do is I start thinking about budgeting on a Wednesday because this happens to be a pay week. So I'm starting the thinking process on Wednesday. By Thursday, I'm at the table, okay, when everybody's asleep, and I'm writing out my budget. I'm online. I'm on my Google spreadsheet and also my notebook, and I'm just simply writing down everything that needs to go in the budget for the next 2 weeks, okay? You want to make sure you do a clear breakdown. You want to break out these categories, these budgeting categories, into a few that's necessary to you. So for me, I have a household category, a food category, I have a health and transportation category, personal and entertainment, and you can put whatever category you need down to a budget for your own budget, because your budget is personal. Talking too fast. Your budget is personal to you, so you can create whatever category you need to create for your budget, but you need to do that. So step 2 of the process is for to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Step 2 is that you want to review and ask. You want to review your budget often, often, right? Take a peek at it. At least, if not 2 days a week, y'all, with y'all budget, look at it once a week. Just go and look at it, see what's up, see if you paid everything you need to pay, see if there's any changes that need to be made to any of the line items in your budget, okay? So get familiar with your budget. Be your budget's best friend, okay? You made it. You might as well be its best friend. And so you might need to find out while you're reviewing your budget. You might need to reduce some spending. You might need to switch out some categories. You might need to change some things within your budget. But go ahead and look at it, because you might find out that you're spending too much in certain category or not enough. So that's another reason why you want to take a peek at your budget. So also you want to check in terms of trying to adjust your budget and figure out how you could reduce spending and save money and all that fun stuff. You want to check with your creditors, right? You want to check to see how you can lower some of your bills. So let me give you a little tip tease. One of the things you can do, if you have your cell phone bill, right? Let's just say it's too damn high. I know ours was like that for a long time. Our stuff was too high. And if y'all hear some noise in the background, I'm in my basement filming this video. I'm typically in my living room filming it, but it'd be too much light in my living room. Okay, be messing up my filming game. So I'm in my basement with my orange wall, burnt orange wall. Okay, filming this video. So you're probably gonna hear my furnace because y'all, it is straight cold here in St. Louis. Okay, we just had a big snowstorm, so my furnace just came on. So excuse me if you hear some noise. I'll talk a little louder. So back to the budget. So you want to check with your creditors, and you want to see if they can, make some adjustments to your bills. Like for an example, like I was talking about the phone bill, I called our provider and I said, listen, y'all, my phone bill, it's just too damn high. Okay, it is too high for 3 lines, and I am so tired of paying this amount of money on a phone bill. So they told me, okay, the phone company said, if you do an auto pay on your phone bill, it will really reduce the amount and the cost of your bill. So I said, it's on. I'm going to go ahead and do the auto pay because I'm tired of paying the bill. So my bill went from around, I think it's about 200 or a little over. It went from that amount, and they did some other changes to my bills, my billing cycle or whatever, or my plan. Yes, they did some other changes to my plan. So it went from being like 205 to like 156, and that was a great savings for me. So just ask, right? Don't assume they're gonna say no. Just ask, and if they say no, it's okay. I always like to tell myself, girl, you prepare for the yes, the no, and the maybe, and I'll think about it. Okay, so therefore I won't be disappointed. I know that I'm going to get a yes, a no, maybe, or either I'll think about it, and my little feelings won't be hurt. Okay, I'm expecting either one of those things, but I can tell you this, I'm expecting a yes. Okay, so do that, and then if you have credit cards and the interests are like out of control, give those creditors a call. Give those credit card companies a call and see if you can have a reduction on your interest rate. I know that I had did that. At first, I did not believe, y'all, that the credit card companies would reduce my interest rate. I really didn't think they would. But when this situation jumped off in 2020, y'all know what I'm talking about, the panorama, when that came on board, I was calling everybody, honey. I called everybody to see if I can get a reduction in my interest rate. And many of my credit cards, I was able to reduce the interest rate, and I was excited about it. Even if they were able to reduce it for a year, okay, and a lot of them did. I actually, on one of my credit cards, my interest rate went from like, I believe 27.99% down to 0 for 1 year, and y'all, I was too happy. So just go ahead and try. Don't think that they ain't gonna do it. Just give it a try. Give them a call. Let them know it's too high. You need to have some sort of reduction in your interest rate. And remember, be prepared for the yes, the no, the maybe, or I don't know. That way you won't be disappointed. And always believe that you're going to get a yes, okay? So you want to pay attention to your grocery budget. Now, y'all, listen, this is where we always go awry. I know I do, okay? My grocery budget, it's always out of control. I always go over. So this is an area in your budget that you want to be well aware of. You want to put your bifocals on with your grocery budget because you always end up going over. I know I do. I'm always over budget. I don't know if because the cost of food went up, that could be a little bit. Or we just like eat at home more, that could be a little bit. But all I know is that whatever I budget for bi-weekly in the grocery category, my husband and I, we always over. So this is an area that we are continuously working with. I made a little video about a grocery rant. Yeah, we still working on that, okay? We still working on that. So the next step, which is step 3, you want to stop spending on things you do not need. Who are you talking to? Me? Yes, I am talking to Katina. Still, stop spending on stuff you do not need. This is going to help you stop living paycheck to paycheck. You will be amazed at how much money you spend on shit you don't need, okay? That is me. So you want to just simply stop all unnecessary spending. I mean, just stop. Think about it. Okay, it's like, do I want to stop living paycheck to paycheck? Yes, I do. When? Right now. So what do I need to do? I need to put myself in a position where I am no longer comfortable with that way of living. I need to become uncomfortable so later I can be comfortable. Okay, that's what you want to do. So you want to stop all unnecessary spending. Okay, do that. It's going to change your life. It's going to change everything. The next thing you want to focus on in this category under step 3 is that where am I spending money at exactly unnecessarily, okay? It could be things like eating out. You'd be amazed at how much money you spend on eating out. Even if you're just going to the McDonald's. If you're just going to the McDonald's and you just eating out and things like that, that stuff adds up, even if you're on the dollar menu. You want to try making foods that you love to eat out at the restaurant at home. Be your own little McDonald's at home. You want some chicken nuggets and fries? Make it at home. You want a burger, a cheeseburger, and some fries? Make it at home. You want a shake? You can get that at home too. But you just simply have to cut back in those areas, and you'd be amazed at how much money you are spending unnecessarily in those areas. And just cook more at home. Make it fun. Make it exciting. Use Pinterest. That's what I do. And then the other thing you want to do is pause on buying things that you don't need, right? I know it can be hard to do. It's so hard for me, y'all. I'm going to be very honest. This is not easy. Like, I'm always going off on myself because I be wanting to buy stuff that I just simply don't need. And I'm learning to wait it out now. I'm learning to wait. And most times, you know what? When I wait, give myself 24 hours or whatever, I forget about it. I don't even want it no more. So that is another thing that you want to look at. Just kind of wait. Just don't spend money unnecessarily. Just stop. Now, this is going to get you where you want to be on your path of not living paycheck to paycheck. Okay? You don't want to do that anymore. So let's start the process. Step 4. Step 4 is you want to bring in extra income, all right? This is so important. Like, everything is important, but this is really important. I did not see a change in my journey, my debt-free journey, until I picked up a second job, okay? I had to pick up a second job, right? I make a pretty good salary, but y'all, with these bills I got, my bills was outpacing my good salary. And I'm like, girl, it's like, this ain't it. You ain't got enough money. You need another job. Okay, so what I did, I went out and got a second job. So additional income is a major factor in stopping the paycheck to paycheck cycle. It really, really is. And it gets you ahead. When you find that second job, it's going to get you ahead. The thing of it is, here's a little tip, here's a little key. That money you got coming in for that second job, it all needs to go to bills, okay? It really all needs to go to getting out of debt first, all right? So you want to do that. So getting the second job for a little while, you know what I'm saying? It's for the greater good. I know. You might not want to work 2 jobs. I know I didn't either. I have been working 2 jobs for the longest. And when I quit working at MAC Cosmetics, I told my husband that I was done working a second job because I had been at MAC for a long time as a part-time artist. And so I told my husband I was finished with that shit there. I'm done. But guess what? Guess what, y'all? I'm working a second job. This time, I am doing the right thing by my money for my second job. I really, truly am. When I work, okay, this second job here, all of the money goes toward paying off debt. All of it. I don't even put it into my budget, okay? I don't. I leave it separate. It doesn't go into my budget. It goes to paying off my debts, period. Okay, so don't think of it as a hardship if you can. Getting a second job, because it's easy to get a second job these days. You can work from home for a second job. So it's a lot out there to find. You just need to do your research, see what you like, and that's that. But you're going to have extra income coming in to stop the paycheck to paycheck way of living. You don't want that. So you might want to sell some items they're in great condition, that you've not used in a long time, or you just bought stuff like me and ain't used it. Put it up for sale. Get that money, okay? It all adds up. You'll be surprised at how much money you get or you can earn from selling stuff you've not used that's in amazing condition, or some gently used items. So sell that stuff. It don't need to be in your house no way. It's just cluttering up your house, okay? So you want to also capitalize on any gifts and talents that you may have. Now, we all have some sort of hidden talent or gift that we can capitalize on, right? Whether that be in makeup, okay? If you do makeup, you can do like events or whatever. You can be a freelance artist where you go to someone's house and do their makeup, or someone's having a wedding or whatnot, or party, you can do their makeup, okay? And get paid for it. If you're great at baking, right? Baking cookies, cakes, or whatever it is you love to do, you can get paid off your talents, okay? You can make extra money that way as well. You can do some dog walking, you can do some proofreading, you can clean someone's house. Listen. It is all about making extra money so that you can stop living paycheck to paycheck. That is a surefire way to stop that process, amongst the other things that we talked about. Now, step 5 of getting out of debt is the Snowball Method. So my last video, I know y'all watched it, but just in case y'all missed it, I talked about how I was able to get out of debt and how I'm continuing to get out of debt. by using the snowball method. I talked about the avalanche method, I talked about the snowball method, and I decided that the snowball method worked well for me. So what you want to do very, very quickly, recap real quick, is that you want to write down all your debts, okay? And you want to pay off the debt with the smallest balance, right? But you want to continue to pay on your other stuff. You don't want to forget that. Continue to pay on your other creditors or your other bills. Even if it's just the minimum payment, pay the damn minimum payment. But keep going, y'all. Don't stop. Do not forget. Keep paying on that. So once you paid off that small balance, you're going to feel like, all right, I did that. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready. Then you can move on to the next one. Because now you have motivation. You have confidence. You know that you can do it. And you're ready to tackle the next day. And this is going to get you closer and closer to freedom. And what is that freedom? Of not living paycheck to paycheck, all right? The next thing you want to do is stop using those credit cards. Stop using those credit cards, Katina. I have to tell myself all the time, girl, put that damn credit card away. Now, I really don't carry my credit cards with me, but you know what trips me up? Miss Apple. Miss Apple card trips me up every time. I don't even have her in my wallet, but guess what? She's on my wallet in my phone. Now, I did not ask for a wallet on my phone. They just put it on there. So I am able to not have the physical card with me and have Miss Apple right on my phone ready for use. So I am really trying to figure out how could I stop doing that, right? Because sometimes, y'all, I be caught up at Whole Foods. I really do. I be having cash and stuff like that for groceries, but guess what? I'm dealing with Whole Foods, so I be eating through that cash real quick. And I'm like, girl, Miss Apple, I'm going to need you to rescue me real quick. I'm going to need about $50, $60, $70 or something like that to offset because I ran out of cash. So I get in trouble with my Miss Apple card. Okay, she's on my phone. She's not in my wallet. It is the only card in which I have on me. And unfortunately, it's in a wallet that I did not ask for on my cell phone. So I have to figure that out. But you want to stop using your credit cards ASAP. That always was just something that got me in trouble. So what I have decided to do with Miss Apple is pay her off before the end of the month. I pay her off before the due date because guess what? This interest, I just be so tired of it, y'all. It just gets on my nerves. So just stop using your credit cards ASAP. Just use cash and debit only, okay? Let cash and Miss Debit be your best friend. Use them, okay? That way you be good. You don't have to worry about no interest rates. You ain't got to worry about none of that. And once you run out of cash, you just out and you can't buy nothing else, okay? So just leave the credit cards alone. Say no to the credit cards. Back away from the credit cards. This is going to get you closer and closer to your goal of not living paycheck to paycheck, okay? Another step in this. Now, do not, please, don't be like me. Do not create additional debt. Don't do it. Do not do it, right? It's easy to get caught up in the debt cycle. It really, truly is. It's easy to create additional debt without even thinking about it, and it happens so quickly. But you know what I've learned through this process, my debt-free journey, and this whole process of not living paycheck to paycheck, is I be thinking like, girl, I don't want to create any more debt, so I really try to run away. Or either I try to save for something that I want instead of, putting it on a card or anything like that, or using money I don't have. So step 6, we're on step 6. I think this is the last step here. You want to start savings. Yes, this is the last one. Step 6 is save, right? So now you got your budget together. You've acknowledged that you got an issue. You figured it out. You got you a second job because you need extra money to pay off these debts because guess what? You no longer want to live paycheck to paycheck. That ain't it no more in 2022. You want to stop. So go ahead. Now you got yourself on good footing and you're getting closer and closer to your goals. It's time to start saving that money. Now, I highly recommend that you get your emergency fund together first. Get that all cushioned up. Do what you can. Ideally you want to have about $1,000 in there, okay? But if you cannot do $1,000, $1,000 or more, I should say. If you cannot save $1,000 right now, it's all right. You save what you can. If you can only start an emergency fund with your income taxes, please do that. Please, I beg you. Go ahead and start with your income tax check. Do that, your refund or whatever. Start it that way. That way you can have something. You want to have something set to the side. You want to have something put away for emergencies. It is crazy. Like, it is so stressful, y'all, having an emergency and ain't got no money. I've been down that road so many times. Oh my God. Now I have an emergency fund. So also, you also want to do like some money challenges and some sinking funds. Now, I love the whole concept of the money challenge, and I'm going to get there in a second. So we talked about starting an emergency fund based on your budget, based on your income, right? Savings can be hard. It really can be. I promise you, trust me, I know. Okay, it can be a hard thing to start. But you have to save money so that you won't have to depend on anyone else to help you. You want to be able to depend on yourself. So when you have a money emergency, you can just simply go to yourself. You don't have to go to anybody else. You also want to try something like money challenges, which are my faves, okay? I have 2 videos on my channel right now, which is the $2 money challenge that ended in October. Was it October? Yes. It ended in October. And I have the $5 money challenge for $20 money challenge. I got so many challenges. I have the $20 money challenge for 26 weeks that I started back in September. And it's going to be wrapping up this month. And y'all, I cannot wait because I have no idea what's in the container. I don't know. I have no idea. I just know that since September, I've been putting $20 a week away. Okay, so I'm excited to see what I have accumulated at the end of the month. I'm going to do a whole video dedicated to the $20 per week for 26 week savings challenge. So y'all, there are so many saving challenges that you can get into. There's so many. So I highly recommend y'all just kind of go on YouTube, see what you can find. Check out my channel, my $2 per day challenge for 60 days. Yes, $2 per day for 60-day challenge. That was a really fun and easy one and exciting as well. And then you can also check out my $20 for 26-week money challenge. Either way, there are so many money challenges that will encourage you to save your money, and it's super fun and super exciting. The other thing that you might want to take a peek at is creating a sinking fund. Sinking funds are awesome for like things that you want to do that you want to save for. So for an example, you might want to create a sinking fund for a vacation. You might want to create a sinking fund for like a particular debt that you want to pay off kind of quickly and you're tired of it. You can do a fund for that. Or you may want to do a sinking fund for a self-care weekend, a beautiful self-care weekend. So basically a sinking fund is that you're going to find out exactly how much something costs. Like for an example, if you want to spend $500 on your self-care weekend, you're going to take that $500 and you're going to create a budget plan for yourself. You're going to decide how much do I need to save to make this happen within 60 days, okay? And you're going to divide that 500 by the number of pay periods that you have within that 60-day period, and you're going to save that much, and there goes your money for your self-care weekend. You don't have to worry about using your paycheck for anything. You don't have to worry about dipping in your bank account because you've already set aside this money in your sinking fund for this particular thing, okay? So for the emergency fund, you want to get started on that, like I said, as soon as possible, ASAP to be exact. And if you can with your emergency fund, you want to try to set aside 10%. But guess what, y'all? It's not set in stone. All right, you do what you can do. If you can't if you cannot do the 10% of your paycheck for an emergency fund, do 5%. If you find that 5% is too much, well then you figure out a dollar amount that you can handle. It might be $50 a pay period. It might be just $25 a pay period. It don't matter as long as you start. Because once you start the process and you keep it going, you're going to increase it at some point. You're going to feel confident enough to increase it. But here's the tip. Don't be dipping your hand in the emergency cooking jar. Do not dip your hand in the emergency cookie jar. Keep your hands away. It's for emergencies and not cookies, okay? So you want to make sure you do that. So those are some quick tips about paycheck to paycheck living and how to stop in 2022. So the big picture image here. I have, what is your bigger picture image? What do you want your overall financial health to look like? All right, I have a few points that I want to talk about real quick. So you want no more paycheck to paycheck living. You don't want to live that way, y'all. It is no way to live. And I know it's hard. God knows I know. I have been in this cycle for a very long time, but I am so close to not being there. My husband and I, we are close to exiting that door. And I'm super excited. It can be done. It really can be. All right. You want to create a budget that's going to help you get out of that cycle. I promise you. You'll get used to budgeting and you'll be comfortable with it. It won't be boring anymore because it's your money, right? So if you stick to budgeting, I promise you, you will no longer be in that paycheck to paycheck cycle. You'll see where the holes are at. You'll see what you need to change, what you need to bring more, that you need to bring in more money. Get you a second job. It don't have to be forever. It really don't. I look at my second job as my way out of living paycheck to paycheck, okay? And it's helped me so much because when I get paid for my second job, it goes to that debt. I do not play, okay? It don't even sit in my bank account for a long time. I'm already paying somebody. As soon as that money is deposited, I'm on it, okay? So look at your second job, if you so happen to get one, whether it's going to work somewhere or at home, as a way out of the cycle of living paycheck and to paycheck. You want to have multiple sources of income. You really, really do. You don't want to just depend on your one and only job. You don't. You want to find something else. Get yourself out of debt with that second job, okay? Also, when you get to a point where you have a little bit more wiggle room, you want to go ahead and start saving, however you can. Do what you can with savings, but start saving. Ultimately, you guys, you want to have control over your money. You want to have full control over it. With living paycheck to paycheck, you have no control over your money whatsoever. You truly don't. And I know this video is into 40 minutes, but that's okay. I feel like this is worth sharing to you. And you know what? It's okay. Sometimes good information takes a long time. It takes a little longer than normal. But I say you want to have control over your own money. When you're living paycheck to paycheck, because I know I've been in this cycle for a long time, you don't have any control over your money. Absolutely none. It's crazy getting paid and not having nothing left. It's crazy. It don't make any kind of sense. You work 40 hours a week plus sometimes more than that. And then when you get your check, you have nothing. So I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm just letting y'all know that this was me for a long time. And I'm still in that cycle, but I'm exiting that door for good. I'm not playing. I didn't realize this until I started my journey in June of last year, that this is how I was living my life for so long. So be in control of your own money. And lastly, you want to be sure to pay yourself first. Do not leave yourself out. You deserve it. You work hard. Okay, you work all these hours and you deserve to love on yourself by putting yourself first. You should always put yourself first, especially when it comes to your job, all right? Pay yourself first. Be sure that you are the first one to pay, and then you can pay everybody else after that. So thank you guys so much for joining me. We're going to get to this weekly word motivator. I did not forget. We're going to jump into this weekly word motivator in just 1 second. Okay, guys, so the weekly word motivator of the week is get started. Get started is the weekly word motivator of the week, and in Spanish, it's empezar. Empezar is the weekly word motivator of the week. Let's get started. So let me make this very quickly, y'all, because like I said, we're into 40 minutes. Yeah, I know I like to talk. But get started. Okay, so as it relates to anything you do, there is no good time, okay? It just seemed like, you be trying to get, prepared for the right time. When is the right time? Sometimes there is no right time. Sometimes the right time is right now. So you just want to go ahead and get started. And as it relates to to stop the whole process of living paycheck to paycheck, to stop that way of living, start today. Start right now. How do you start, Katina girl? I ain't got paid yet. Don't worry about it. Get your budget. Start with your budget. Start there first. Go ahead and create your budget, and then you know when you get paid, you're gonna take a peek at your paycheck and see what's what, and then you're gonna go ahead, all right, and put it into motion. But get started now. Stop the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. Stop that stress, right? You work too hard to not have nothing left after you get paid. You work too hard not to have nothing in a savings account for emergencies. You work too hard to not be able to take a vacation. You work too hard to not to be able to take a self-care weekend. You work too hard to not to be able to get the things that you so desire, to live the life that you truly, truly want. So just get started. Make a decision today that you no longer are going to live paycheck to paycheck, that you're going to stop this cycle today. Just emphasize. Go ahead and get started. You know what? Let me tell you something real quick what my doctor told me and my husband a long time ago when we were trying to have a baby. So it was not easy for me to get pregnant at all. To be honest, y'all, I needed some help, right? I needed some fertility help, and that's exactly what I got. I had to get a little boost. Okay, so, but before I got the boost, okay, from my doctor, some fertility boost, I told him, my husband and I, he was like, are y'all trying to get pregnant? And I was like, no, not yet. And so he was like, why not? And I said to him, we're just not financially ready. And he laughed at us. He laughed at us. And he was like, you're not going to be financially ready to have a baby. Nobody is, really. I mean, people are, you know what I'm saying? But most people are not financially ready for families, right? So he was like, y'all just need to go ahead and get started before it's too late. He said, just go ahead and get started. He said to us that everything will fall in place. Just get started with your boost. I needed a boost. So he was like, you know what? I want y'all to just go ahead and get started. I'm going to help y'all. I'm going to give you what you need to have, Katina. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. We're going to give you this little boost so you can get started. And don't worry about your finances. When you have this baby, I promise you guys are going to figure it out. And that indeed we did. So we went ahead and got started and everything with the boost, and I was able to get pregnant. But just get started. Whatever you do, just start, right? Don't delay no more. Don't be like, I don't know how I'm going to figure out. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I got to figure out how I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I don't know. Yes, I'm tired of getting paid and not having no money, but I just don't know. I'm going to wait until the new year to get on a debt-free journey, or I'm going to wait until February to start, or April, or the summer. Just go ahead and get started. There is no right time to start, but like now. Now is the right time. It is the time, okay? Just go ahead and make a decision that, you know what? I'm going to get out of debt. I'm going to stop living paycheck to paycheck starting now. And you know what that now looks like? Doing some research on Miss Google, going on over to Google Community College and see what you need to do, going on YouTube, watching my videos and seeing what that process looked like. But stop living paycheck to paycheck. You really want to stop. And listen, I know it's a process. Trust me, I'm right there with y'all. I'm being very honest and transparent. I know what that feels like, okay? We still know. And it's something that we'll never forget because we have been living this way for so many years. But you know what I know? This ain't God's will, okay? It's just not. I really don't believe that it is intended for us to live like this. God did not create us to be living paycheck to paycheck, okay? So I don't believe that this is the will of God for us to live this way. I just simply don't. That's just how I feel, right? But we have to make the necessary changes and adjustments on our end so we don't have to live that way. And we can do it. We really can do it. And I promise y'all, once y'all make up your mind, acknowledge it, do y'all budget, find some extra income, work that little job for a little bit, start paying your bills off using the snowball effect, get your budget together, create your savings. Guess what? You're going to be like, oh, I don't live paycheck to paycheck no more. I figured out how to not live that way. And you know what? That's no way to live. So I just want to give y'all a reminder. I want to lift y'all up however I can. I want to encourage you and me that we don't have to live this way. We shouldn't have to live this way. If other people can take vacations, so can we. We just have to plan for it a little bit better. That's all, but we can do it. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to my little YouTube channel. Share my little videos. And once again, thank y'all so very much from the bottom of my heart for watching my videos. I'm excited and I look forward to sharing other information with you guys. What I learned, I want you to learn. what I understand, I want you to understand. And I really want to share everything that I know so that I can help somebody else. Okay, so until the next time, thank you so much. Bye bye.